Good morning, guys. Just making some final alterations here. I clearly have the wrong thing selected. Yeah, that's the one that I want. All right. I am. I was 2 minutes late. You're right. All right, new layout. For now, anyway. I might make some other minor changes and stuff, but for now. Good morning. Let's take a look. How are we looking here? All right. Ooh, there's some red here, some green over here. Let's get the real time. Yeah, we're a little bit down this morning. I wonder what will happen. Celebrating iPicks. Not yet. Not yet. It's too soon to crack out the champagne. We got a little while to go yet. But I was pretty happy about that news for sure. Honestly, what is France gonna do? All right. Morning hair. Okay, there's that one there. Okay, Jobs cleanser at 8:30 today. Okay, let's see what else is popping up on the tickers. Molecular, 8K, FDA approved. COVID tests are being pulled. Severe and rare disease. Non-hormonal birth control gel. Warning letters. Okay, there's some stuff on SLRX, ACRX. Orphan designations. Okay. MFA Financial. $3 price target. Stocks under pressure. Okay. Not much there. GameStop. This is a thing. All right, let's see what we got. Morning. Hey, look at that Beaverson. I like it. I like it a lot. Did the I wonder if the new emo got approved. No, not yet. Not yet. Still just the three in there. Oh, it is there. You can use it. Interesting. Yesterday went quite well. Yeah. iPix finally took off a little bit. Options portfolio did well. My new strategy is working out pretty well, so I'm pretty happy about it. Yesterday went really well. This is the new temporary layout, guys. Let me know if everything's big enough that you can read it and you can see what's going on. I think if I look at the browser, it, it should be fine, but you guys be the judge. Yeah, iPix went up 80%, which isn't saying a lot because it was like 8 cents it went up. But yeah. So here's what's happening is the US currently has the majority of global social networks based in the US. Some of them file in Ireland, but I mean, the majority are in the US. And so the US gets all those tax dollars, right? France and Europe is saying, we want our piece because French citizens are using your platform. We should be able to benefit from that. And the US is saying, well, no, 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 hold on. So Louis Vuitton, if Americans buy Louis Vuitton, doesn't Louis Vuitton profit in France? Their response is yes, but they have to pay taxes in the US. And this is the back and forth that's going on. um, whether or not there's actually business being done. France can't really afford to brawl like this. Okay, so why does retail trading work the way that it does? Okay, so let me show you. That's a great question, man. It's a great question. Uh, Nuno on steroids. I think that you were here yesterday saying that you're kind of new to trading. You're trying to figure things out. So let's show you what's happening here. Okay, so here's U1 on. So here's U1 on the month. Okay. Um, Here's U1 down at floating around that $1 mark, 125.97. Okay, so here it is. June 16th hits. The only news on June 16th is that the only hedge fund that has ever been. Oh, this is LMFA. Okay, well, we'll do LMFA because it's the same thing. So LMFA, we go all the way to June 16th. There's no news, none whatsoever on LMFA yesterday. If I Google LMFA, past 24 hours, there's nothing here. There's no news. There's nothing of relevance. Nothing to create a move like this. Like this. Nothing to indicate that we would see a change like that. Okay, and yet all of a sudden, what we start to see, you'll see that the volume is next to nil on this thing, right? Like occasionally there's a little uptick. These bars at the bottom here, these are your volume. Then we start to see this. And it's like, okay, well, that's a large spike for such little volume. Oh, there's a lot more volume. Oh, there is a lot more volume. And what happens is you're going to get a sell off now, but the volume here is what's driving these up. Now, the question is if there's no news, then where's this volume coming from? This isn't coming from institutional traders, right? This isn't coming from hedge funds. This isn't coming from major banks. This is coming from retail traders, and retail traders are people like you and I that don't operate with major funds. We operate with what little we can scrape by and put it in the market. But when they see movement on something like this, they love to pile in because they went, oh look, this one's going. Let's get in on the train and let's ride it up. Unfortunately, what happens most times with these stocks, guys, is um, people that are retail traders don't have proper scanner set up. They aren't aware of what's happening. They may get a signal from somebody. Um, but the reality is, as it takes off, usually they'll get in somewhere around here, right? And they might make a little bit of profit. Might make a little, not bad, but a little bit of profit. And then you'll see some people get out and take their profit. These are the guys that got in down here, right? They're like, this is enough. We made a crap ton of profit on this. We're out. And it'll come back down because they sell off, and then they'll go, oh, people are still sticking with it. Okay, let's pump back in. So they buy again on the low, let it go back up again, and then they sell everything again. And what happens is people realize, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, and it comes back down to earth. So this is how retail traders, just by sheer volume, are affecting the market. This is a low float stock. It didn't cost a fortune to get into, and we see it over and over and over again. So some other examples would be Genus. Okay, this is just gonna be a pain in my butt today, is it? All right, let's go here. Genus, 1 month. Okay, so these candles are a little bit different, but I think this still shows the point. What you're seeing is the arrow on the left, or the line on the left is where it opened. The line on the right is where it closed. The candle is the high and the low for the day. So it looks kind of like this funny tree, but that's how that works. Um, so what you see is around that $1.30 mark, and then retail traders show up. It's up to $6, back down. You won. Down around the $2 mark. It actually dropped down to the $1 mark, up to the high of the day was $40. So from $1.37 to $40 in 2 weeks. It's actually just in a day that it did that. Like the 12th, what day was the high? 1 month. Yeah, so it went from June 11th, it was $1.51. June 15th, it was 6.54 with a high of 8. June 16th, it was $27 at close with a high of 40. Morning, Levi. What's up, fries? So this is how retail trading works is, look, the non-existent volume all throughout here until the 2 days where it spikes. Now all of a sudden there's volume, right? And it's not going to stay around this $12 line. It'll keep coming down. But that's how this retail works. My socials block the candles. Of course it does. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Because that's no bueno. Let's go like that. Voila. Hopefully that's better. Stretch millennial? Uh-oh. Did I break it? Ah, that's not so bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. All right. Yeah, so that's how retail traders are affecting the market is they're diving into these things just by sheer volume, and it's driving the stock price up. Yeah, hopefully this is a little better, guys. I know that this is not super fancy or whatever, but it's there at least. And hopefully, I tried to set up an alert for this where it would go off, but I don't know that it works yet. So, good morning. Yeah, everybody's worried about the fall because that's when flu season starts again, which is when COVID comes back again. So, yeah, there's a definite legitimate concern on that. Okay, so MBRX filed an 8K yesterday. All right. So the board ratified an accountant, elected its directors. A reverse stock split. They're not saying they're doing it, they're saying that there's a possibility of it. Okay. So this is what you want. Um, so where most splits create more shares for people to buy, this is actually reducing the pool, which can increase the value of the stock. Scarcity drives value, right? So if you look at Berkshire A, there's very, very little there. Very little. Here, they haven't announced that they are going to do it, but the potential for even a 1 for 8 is there. Okay. Then they're talking about increasing the number of shares to 6 million. Okay, so I think this might lead to me considering exiting because what I see happening here is them potentially, and they haven't said they're going to do this, but flooding it with 6 million new shares, lowering the price of the stock, and then doing a reverse split. Or even the other way around, where they do a reverse split and then they flood it, which is terrible if you're already holding it because what's going to happen is if you've got 1,000 shares and they go 1 for 8, right? What happens is you're going to end up with 125 shares, right? You got 125 shares, but now what happens is your 125 shares are not worth nearly as much because what they're going to do is flood it with 6 million more shares. So the price is going to go up on the reverse split, and then they flood the market with 6 million shares, and it's going to go right back down. And so you lost the volume, which is often what makes these stocks worthwhile. So, yeah, all of these passed. All of these passed. There were 13 million votes against and 12 million votes against, but there's people that hold large enough portions of the company that they can overdo this. This is an 8K. This is not a 10K. This is an 8K. And it's molecular and it's MBRX. So that's going to be of note. Get rid of these. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Keep that. Okay. Okay. Antibody tests are pulled. So Chem Bio Diagnostic System. Semi. CMI. There's no divvy. There's no divvy on MBRX. What's up, Sabat? Shares in circulation on MBRX. I would have thought that they had that here. Yahoo Finance. Ooh, look at that Pikachu. Okay, Yahoo Finance. MBRX. 60 million outstanding already. 45 million float. That's for what's being held, I believe. Because this would say 65.84 divided by 109. So that would say that there is 60 million ish, right? There's about 60 million shares outstanding. And that's true. That number is true, but the float is there 45.99. Yeah, it's about a 10% dilution, which is a big deal. But it's even worse if you reduce the shares outstanding, right? So if you take this and make it a 1 for 8, right? Well, what you've done is you've made that 60 into 7.5, right? And when you've got only 7.5 million and you introduce 6 million shares, well, now what you're doing is you're flooding it by closer to 100%, right? And that's kind of a jerk off move. So I'm not happy about what I'm seeing there. I think I will probably have to exit out of that position. Um, I love the drug. I love what they're doing, but those option that potential for them to do that is just it's too risky. What's float? Float is the number of shares available trading for a particular stock. Low float stocks are those with a low number of shares. Floating stock is calculated by subtracting closely held shares and restricted stock from a firm's total outstanding shares. It's what's up for grabs. It's what's there. So yeah, it's what's up for grabs. Low float stocks. So if we do, let's do Amazon instead and show you what their float looks like. 420 million shares with Amazon. Yeah, it's well, I mean, there's 60 million shares to trade. And you can do some private wheeling and dealing with people, but the reality is that there's 40 million that's readily available to trade. So it's like, it, yes and no, but both. Let's pin this. All right. That's nothing. Okay, back to the news. Where are we at? I picked Scott Good News 97, 95, and 97% respectively compared to control against COVID. So this is why the peak on iPicks yesterday. Um, this is why it ran. I don't know what it's doing pre-market today, but it's still up pre-market. So this could see another run today. I'm not sure how much, but that news is pretty big. Semi is what we were looking at here on this news. You can expect to see them fall pretty hard here. Semi. They're up pre-market on having their tests yanked. That's wrong. This will decline. This will go down. FDA approves first treatment for adult onset Still's disease, a severe and rare disease. Approved Alaris. Search for Alaris. Novartis. NVS. So that's going to be a play today. Rare disease. Non-hormone birth control. Phexi. EVFM. EVFM. Watch that today. They're up pre-market already. FDA has issued warning letters to these companies for selling test kits that are not approved. This is a call to make the FDA independent because of political interference, which is a joke because if they think they make the FDA independent, it won't instantly be corrupted by the private sector. It's hilarious. Guests are not admitted to this meeting. Okay. So the meeting was yesterday. With the FDA, and we didn't get any major announcements. What brokerages can you use in Canada? So I use TD. Every bank has a different brokerage in Canada. I use TD. Interactive brokers you can use. You can't use Tastyworks. You can't use Robinhood. You can use eTrade. You can use. I don't think you can use Webull. You can use Questrade. Um, I think that's most of them. For me, I use TD for my equity portfolio. I use IB for my options portfolio, and it looks like I'll have to use IB for my any shorts I want to do. This is technical analysis on ACRX. Okay, so this is big news from yesterday. Um, I mean, we can take a look and see what the insiders did yesterday. There's no insider selling. Hedge funds. The hedge fund did sell out, but it was back here. It was back in December. It's not recently, so it's neither of those. I mean, this morning, where do we at here? It's down again. Hmm. There hasn't been a press release on it yet, so I'm unless I've completely missed it. Maybe Edgar's got a press release that I didn't see. Yeah, the 10Q was the last filing, so there's nothing else here to give us an indication of what's going on. Do I do SLRX into Google News? Tools past 24 hours. Okay. On the radar. So there's been no announcements from this meeting yet. Prediction for the market as a whole today. Okay, so the big thing that we have to keep into account on Thursdays is Thursdays, if you go to the economic calendar, which is yeah, SLRX is one I'm willing to wait for that news to drop because I think that's going to have a huge potential. You guys can go to that link right there. What it's going to do is it's going to pull up this site here with an economic calendar. Okay, this calendar indicates any major announcements that are come from either central banks, like the Fed, or you're going to see things that um, the government announces on a regular basis. So what we have today is at 8:30 Eastern. This is 7:30 Eastern. GMT. Eastern Standard Time. All right, this says 7:30. Jobless claims come out. These initial jobless claims are a big deal. Big deal. So last week we had 1.5. We're looking at 1.3 this week. Continuing jobless numbers 19.8. So we're looking for a decline on continuing and a decline on initial jobless claims. So if those come in down, expect the market to respond in kind, and it will look favorably on that. Of the economy is definitely recovering after the retail numbers that we got. If we can continue to see a decline in jobless claims, what's going to happen is we are going to see the market respond favorably to that. Now, if this number spikes up for any reason, or this number as well blows past consensus in an unreasonable manner, it could go the other way. Why does it continue? Why is YouTube doing that? YouTube is glitched. Urgh. Sorry to the YouTube crew. I don't know why it's doing that. It. How do I stop it from doing that? Is it really posting that over and over and over and over? Because that's super annoying. It's Inception, people. No. Okay. It's not actually doing that. Ooh, breakfast burrito. Spicy. Um, so this is announcing that at the end of March and into April, there are three funds. Wow. Total institutional investors and hedge funds own 28.4% of the company. If employment numbers are favorable, I would expect to see the retail sector do well. So not stocks that I necessarily watch. I play long equity bio, but I think a couple of stocks, in my opinion, that you might want to take a look at are DRI. Darden Restaurants, they own a large chain. This would be an excellent options play. Typically, when the retail sector and employment numbers do well, restaurants, especially full service restaurants, do well. I think Uber, something like Uber, where it's a job, freelance job, would do well. If you don't like Uber, you can take a look at Lyft. Um, the other way that you could take it would be if more people are employed, there's more money to spend, which means that the retail sector as a whole would go up. So you could look at something like Lulu. You could look at something like Planet Fitness. No, Planet Fitness. You could look at something like, man, this thing took off, huh? 30 to 70. Holy cow. Uh, yeah, yeah, consumer staples would do well. So Costco. The only industry really that those numbers don't affect is the industry that I trade, which is the bio industry. Bio doesn't really care what employment numbers look like. Wow, this is super annoying. I'm gonna restart the restream chat and see if that fixes it. Oh, it's really gonna keep doing that. ACRX. Um, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know that it was the spy that influenced ACRX. Yeah, BioC is one that I'm familiar with. I think it was on my list earlier this week. So my issue with BioC is if you head to Robin Track, I guarantee you this thing's on there. Popularity changes 24 hours ago, 3 days. He won. Tesla, PCRFI, IDEX. There it is, Bio. Um, and wow, I really don't know what the deal is here with this freaking chat board. Yep, yeah. End phase took a hit. So that's the funny thing is if it's higher than expected, what you can expect to see happen is SPY to drop and subsequently will take the tech sector with it. Typically fraud of any kind. Wow. Okay, so there is actually a glitch on YouTube, and I'm not sure how to resolve that. Settings, filtering. Oh, come on. I thought that was a solution. Yeah, so with Bioc, this is a concern for me that Robinhood is taking such a huge position in this, and we talked about it a little bit earlier today that these low volume, low float pump and dumps are a huge risk. So, a low volume of 29 million. Um, yeah, yeah. Uh, BioC is not one that I would be looking at. Just on the basis of its low cost makes it primed and prepped for a pump. And I don't play pumps to the upside. I'm not saying that you're going to be part of the pump. I'm just saying that any stock that has that ability to be pumped heavily is one that I'm extremely cautious towards. I don't see any bio news on. Let's go to the FDA calendar and see if Bioc has something that's coming. What is considered low volume and high volume? Just let me check for Bioc here, and I'll show you. Yeah, so Bioc has nothing on the calendar for the FDA, so they're not actually. Looks like YouTube is bugged today with restream chat. So what I'm gonna do here is instead I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. Okay. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here like that. And I'm gonna go like that. And put that up here like this. And unfortunately for you guys that won't have everything, Tiffany, I will be able to see your messages. YouTube, Twitch, I will still be able, or Twitter, I will still be able to see your messages. But this way we just don't get the spam. So what's considered high or low float volume? Or low volume. Let's go to something like Amazon versus something like mm, something obscure, something like BlackBerry. Okay, so you got all these numbers that pop up all the time, right? Average volume 5.8 million. Amazon may not be the right pick. Where's the pump and dump? E1. Okay, so BlackBerry averages 5 million, 3.5 million yesterday. U1, which is a pump and dump that has been hitting pretty hard, averages a million, 7.5 million yesterday. If you go back a couple of days, their volume actually was exceeding trading on the SPY. So SPY would probably be the highest volume of all of them. Oh, not. That's weird that it went to Enfi. Um, so SPY is an ETF that tries to showcase the entire market. Um, Average volume is average volume on this is 138 million. Yesterday was 83. Like that would be kind of a high volume. Well, that would be the highest volume out there. So here's a pump and dump. You'll see it goes 7 times its average volume. That's huge. But it went more than that. Like it over the past 5 days. Let's see if we can find like look at this. Look at this volume here. In one candle here, it had 1.7 million on Monday. So these are hourly. Yeah. 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, it had the volume of its entire day on this. So it, yeah, it's a big beast. It's a big beast. So this is what happens when Robinhood shows up and pumps something, and that's why I have a serious concern with something like Bioc, where relatively low volume. Why does it keep going to? I don't want end phase. Um, okay, so Bioc, which is already a low cost stock, which means that it's easy for people to get in and out. 21.5 million is the average volume on this tiny little nothing, right? 35 million yesterday. I'm not saying there's not money to be made on this stuff, guys. I'm just saying I personally don't like getting involved in these plays. Um, it's a very different style of trading. Very, very different style of trading. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so back to the news for the day, guys. Actually, I'm out of water here, so 60 seconds and I will be back. Um, so here's the news. No, that's not the news. Enphase, ENPH. So a short seller came out with a report that says 39% or 205 million of the company's reported revenue is fabricated using accounting gimmicks that artificially inflate revenue and profits. Yeah, so this is what's going on. They're fraudulent numbers on their earnings. So they beat on Q1 in revenue as an energy company, which was an oddity in the market, which is what drove it up so high. What's up, Swashbuckler? Um, it's early for sure, but you got to be on here. You got to be making the monies. Got to be making the dollars. Working hard. Yeah, so they beat, but their revenue is misleading. Yuck. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. For me, Robinhood buyers will show up every single day. You'll see something that pops. If you go into StockTwits at the start of the day, well, you'll typically see right now it's still a little bit early because it's only 5:30. But if you head into here around 8:30, 9 o'clock, you'll see one stock pop up in this ticker that it's in the 300, 400, 500% range. I think it might be YouTube that has a bug here because this is just driving me a little nuts here, guys. Okay, so on YouTube, it's not doing this. It's just okay. So that's not so bad. You guys in YouTube aren't getting inundated. I'm seeing the same thing repeat over and over and over again here, so that's driving me nuts. But that's fine, so long as it's not both of us. All right. Where were we? What were we doing? We were reading articles. Okay. Okay. Edgar SLRX. So, what are you guys watching today? because we can start to break down some other stuff here. If you guys aren't looking at anything particular, I'm going to head over to social and see what's popping up. Microsoft and Amazon want people to regulate facial recognition. RPRX. Yeah, I can take a look. It's a new one to me. I haven't heard that one. RPRX. Royalty Pharma. Okay, so this is an IPO. Yeah, it's an IPO. It hasn't been in anything since 2017. It's the year's largest IPO. Royalty Pharma. Okay, so they're a bio investor. Think of them think of them as an REIT, but with bios. Um, they kind of scoop up and buy into all of these different drugs, and they put a little bit of money in to get a little bit of money back on the sales. But they've got a lot of holdings and a lot of big names here: Celgene, Novartis, Gilead. They have remdesivir? No. BMY, AbbVie, JJ, Remicade, Rototech. So it's got a lot of big names here, but you have to look at the drugs alongside, right? So here's the name of the company. Here's the name of the product. Okay, so don't watch the big names as much as you watch the drugs here. Okay, so Idafa, Previmis, Enfio. This one's a something. Standy, that's something. Sanofi for their diabetes, they haven't even named it. Yeah, so a lot of the drugs that I would hope to see here, like I'd like to see remdesivir here, right? It's not. I'd like to see Viagra here from Pfizer. It's not. I'd like to see, like with Merck, you want to see Keytruda there, right? Like it's just, yes, they've got some big names. I'm not denying that they've got some big names in their portfolio, but it's not. So they provide the capital for research and funding, and that in turn, yeah, yeah, it's an investing firm. I'm not a huge fan of the concept. I'm not a huge fan of what they do. I don't like the drugs that they're currently invested in. They do have ties with some big companies, so there is a potential play there. It's just not a play for me, in my opinion. Aim T. What's up, E-Weedle? Johnson Johnson is one of the groups that it's invested in. Yeah, this is the peanut allergy one. Yeah, I remember this from a few months back. If this works, that's huge. And it says that it works. It's kind of a huge deal. I like this. AMT, in my opinion, looks really good. Yeah, I know Bioc we just went over, Vu. It looks like it's look like it's prime for a pump and dump. It's one of the top on Robin Track. Like people on Robinhood are getting ready to pile into the thing. Bioc. When you see this number here, guys, this bar that's going up like this, that's not the stock price. That's the number of Robinhood traders holding positions in this thing. This is a big warning sign for me. Like, yikes. Yeah, yeah, that's just it. They're loading up. They're loading up. And that's a big problem. Not another one. I like regen. Um, this is Regeneron, right? Yeah. Yeah. This is one of those ones that if you buy equity in, you just hold it forever. Um, don't really care about their COVID cocktail, but Buffett likes this for a long hold. There's potential in it just to be held as a place to have your money. Don't expect a major movement on it. Futures are rebounding. Market is green now where it was red earlier. And it's not super green, but it's green. What do we got today on this? Anything popping here? Bio calendar. Rare has a PDUFA today. Epzim has a PDUFA today. And then we're into AACR next week. Why is it so expensive? Because it's such a massive beast. Yeah, this is the next big thing, guys. Is this AACR meeting? American Association for Cancer Research has the DNPI and VBIV speaking, so both of those are worth taking a look at. No, so these conferences are typically not publicly available. You have to sign up for it. Except in this case, you can watch it for free. There's the link. If you guys wanted to watch this, it's available. Create a new account. That's me. Oh, I gotta fill this out. Okay. Company. Speak out media. Salutation. Minister. Highest degree. No degree. One, two, three. Fake Street. Atlantis. Ontario. Major focus. Hmm. Pediatric oncology. Clinical research. Business development. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. I am interested in everything. I want to know about everything. Um, Pediatric, prostate, blastoma, sarcoma, skin, non-melanoma, stomach, testes, thyroid, pancreas, bladder. Work setting. Sure, I'm not. Okay. Did I fill something out? Salutation, Mister. I picked Mister. What do you mean complete this field? Okay, I'm officially not a Mister. Sir. Oh, come off it. Well, you tell me what I am then. Sir. Doesn't like sir. Mister. Weird. Well, that's a shame. This is giving me some complications. So, Mister. Okay, well, apparently I can't register because their sheet is broken, so that's too bad. But yeah, best of luck if you guys can actually get that to go through. That would definitely be worth watching. What is new in these releases? We've got the EA Play Live today as well, guys. For those of you that are in tech and gaming, 13 hours out from now. They'll be that's their version of E3. You'll be able to see the games that are coming. Okay, Nicola. After half an hour of promotional videos, big promises. Nicola Corp's 13-foot tall prototype parks top of rotating stage begins spin. Essentially, what this is saying is Milton lied about the functionality, and Bloomberg has some serious concerns about this company's ability to compete with Daimler, Volvo, Scania, and others. He initially said they would start deliveries of trucks in 2020. Company is forecasting zero revenue for the year. That's no revenue on Nikola this year. They won't actually begin production on this truck until they have a robust refueling infrastructure. It doesn't estimate. Good morning, Daniel. It doesn't estimate that hydrogen stations will be operational until 2022. It's 2 years out. So if it's not going to make trucks until it's got the stations built, and it's not going to build the stations until 2022, that means there's 2 more years of zero revenue. Nothing. Nada. Which is where their Badger comes in. They need their Badger to drive sales and bring in revenue. The CNH, which isn't a fuel cell truck, it's a electric vehicle that is hoping that it can piggyback on the Tesla system, is what it's going to launch with the tray. Um, the Nikola 2 is due 2023. He's touting a 14,000 reservation. They did have an agreement. They've got an agreement with whoever CNH is. CNH Industrial is going to build their tray trucks. But the 14,000 reservations are still because nobody's actually putting any money down on those reservations. Nikola doesn't need help. Nikola is. You're holding dust in your hands. All it takes is for somebody to walk by or to blow on it, and it's gone. No fuel cell trucks until at least 2022. Um, Probably later, actually, 2023, on the basis that once it builds the infrastructure, then it needs to start to build the plants to make the trucks. And I just don't. 3 years, nothing. No product for 3 years. I just don't know that's viable in today's market. I think that Tesla is going to move a lot faster with income coming in to get their truck to market, and their truck is cheaper. Their truck works just the same, if not better. So yeah, I think that we are in for a very very serious rude awakening. They're saying it won't reach 10,000 units annually until 2030. Researchers see 90% of heavy trucks still being powered by diesel in 2040. Tesla's boned. "2040, they're saying 90% of trucks will be diesel still, which means that all of these eco trucks are fighting for 10% of the market. I just hate seeing people get burned. Yeah, no, it didn't take a ton. It did take reading the 10K, which is what a lot of people haven't done. Again, guys, if you're not using Edgar, you want to be using Edgar. Oh, where'd he go? Edgar. Everything you ever need to know. Right there. Everything you need to know. Yeah, yeah, I broke this down before they IPO'd. It's really simple, guys. You just go in here. You'll see company or fund name. Click on this. Type in Nikola. And it's all here. So there was an acquisition of beneficial ownership yesterday. Legend Capital Partners picked up a sizable share of this yesterday. The conclusion I'm coming to is in 2040 there won't be a Nikola. It won't exist. Meanwhile, Tesla will be on its way to the moon. Hanwha Energy USA Holdings. Yeah, I would just. I mean, I can't make financial recommendations. In my opinion, I would stay as far away from Nikola as you possibly can. Highlights for me that I'm watching. I'm waiting for news to come in on SLRX. They had their meeting yesterday with the Pediatric Society. Yeah. So where the heck did it go? Did I close it? I must have closed it. I don't see the okay, it's stock puts. Okay, I'm looking at. Yeah, it's true. They are meeting again today, so they may not release reports on what happened until today. Um, but here's what's on my watch list: EVFM with their um, birth control gel. Novartis had an approval. Uh, DGLY remains on my watch list. If this goes back down to 4, I might look at picking it up. I believe that this thing is going to have a very serious climb moving ahead as we see police forces around the U.S. Require body cameras and dashboard cameras, and they are major suppliers. So for me, this is one worth watching. I think this is probably going to be a $10 stock by Q4. I'm just waiting, just waiting. BMY was in the meetings with SLRX. That's why they're up there. Westport is waiting on approval from China. Um, so Westport does natural gas vehicles for trucking and industry. They've gone through all the safety requirements. They're just waiting on certification from China, and that will be huge for them. I wonder how much this report costs. I see these reports come up all the time, and it's like, okay, well, sure, I want access to the report, so go ahead and sell it to me. How do I get the report? Yeah, I mean, typically these reports cost thousands of dollars. Anyway, what Westport is waiting on is WPRT news. Earnings call. So they've got an agreement with Egypt. They're in the U.S. They're in Canada. They're hoping for China. Um, so it's a fuel injector that uses natural gas, compressed natural gas. Um, okay. Yeah, and they're one of the companies in that market. This isn't revolutionary. This is their part of that market. Okay, they're back at work. Order flow is returning. We continue to focus on cost reduction, disciplined cash management, supporting our global team, the communities as we navigate this recovery period. At the same time, we've been able to secure new business opportunities such as the gas tech in Egypt. It's encouraging to see green shoots of optimism in face of so much uncertainty. So they've picked up new clients where others have not. As everybody comes back to production, there have been many questions about the impact of the downturn. China. China. Despite COVID, our Weiche Westport joint venture has completed all the emissions testing with the Chinese Ministry of Ecology and Environment and with the Chinese Ministry of Industry. While the certification delay affects the timing of the commercial launch and the production and sales ramp that follows, we do not expect it will change the shape of the adoption curve. Long-term potential of HPDI in China, the largest natural gas commercial vehicle market in the world. Largest natural gas commercial vehicle market in the world remains compelling. We have a great partner, a great product, and a large market to serve, and we look forward to doing that just when the Chinese government provides the final green light. So they're about to gain access to the largest market in the world, which is a huge deal. That's a big deal. So what I want to do is set up um, it's working with search Google for Weiche Group. Okay, so what is Weiche Group? Weiche Group is a Chinese listed company in Weifang, specializing in the research and development and manufacturing and sale of diesel engines. Its products are used in vehicles, marine vessels, and power generators. So what they're doing is they have paired with this company that makes diesel vehicles to put these natural gas fuel injectors into their vehicles. So this is an existing Chinese company that already has sales. Let's see what they do. 42,000 employees listed on the SEC and the SECE. They own a bunch of different companies. So what I want to do is look up Weiche and then, oh, did I spell it wrong? Weiche. News. Create alert. Show options as it happens. Automatic. English. Any language. All results. RSS feed. Subscribe. Okay. Set up an alert so I'll get any news that drops on this company as it comes out. I wonder if they have this. Okay, it is here. It is an OTC stock. Hedge funds holding this? No hedge funds holding this. Insiders? Nothing. Okay. So this is on the Shenzhen. This is on the Chinese market. 52-week high 1669, 52-week low 1065. It's kind of in that midpoint right now. Catch you later, Vu. Thanks for swinging by, man. Appreciate that. Financials. Revenue, trailing 12 months, 2019, total revenue, increased revenue, 2019 over 2018. Cost of revenue was increased as well. Gross profit still up. These numbers are in the thousands, so that's 38 billion. They made 3 billion in profit year over year. They're still investing in R&D. Decrease EBITDA though year over year. Anyway, so this is the partnership is with this company. So it's a major diesel producer already in China, and they will be putting their fuel injection into these cars, which is kind of a huge deal. We're just waiting on approval to come, so anxiously holding and waiting. They didn't have any clear projection though, I think. All they say is in the near future. They don't provide any further insight on that. Um, they see potential in Europe, but they don't have an agreement in Europe yet. So they're actively looking for an agreement in Europe. But China is really the big one for me. China has the largest global market. That's the one that I want to watch. That's the one that I want to know about. Um, all right. Carnival reports early preliminary data. They missed by $38 million. Non EPS misses by $1.54. Carnival's going down. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Too far, too fast. I don't know that it goes back down to this $8 mark, but that $10 mark there, that $12 mark, that's possible. It's too soon. They're not selling anything. What are cruises costing these days? Carnival Cruise Line. Who wants to go on a cruise? Let's see. You just spotted a super deal. Cruises from $59 per person per day, plus 2 for 1 reduced deposit. Hurry, it ends today. All right. I'm not seeing the $59 a day. Oh, unless this is okay. So for this is for a 4 day cruise. So $139 for a 4 day cruise. CCL? No, CCL was never up that high. Oh, you mean the cruise is 80 to 100. So this is $139 for a 4 day cruise in the Bahamas leaving from Miami. That's huge. I'm just throwing this out there. This is not going to be profitable for a cruise company. It's not. Even if they sell out a boat at these prices. Let's go back. Let's look at, you know what, guys? I think we've earned it. I think we've earned it. Let's say that we've earned a solid 359 Ocean Suite. We want to go classy on this, right? For those of you that are married, have a girlfriend, you really want to spoil her, right? So we're going to take her to an ocean suite. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to have that sweet ocean view. It's going to be a nice big room. You're going to have tons of space for activities. Who has a girlfriend? Not me. Happily married. But I tell you, my wife would not turn down an ocean suite view on a cruise ship for 4 days. So it at $359 for a 4 day cruise. She's smiling right now. She's standing right here smiling at me like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. If only Canadians could fly in for this. Girlfriend in 2020, what's that? Oh, I get it. I'm a boomer. I get it. I get it. Apparently, I'm a boomer. Apparently, girlfriends aren't a thing anymore. Nobody's got a girlfriend. They don't. It's all about Tinder with the kids these days. Disney Plus and Dream, Netflix and chill. Yeah, so guys, at 359 for a suite that used to cost thousands, right? Like, it's kind of an interesting development. Oh, and you've got a little patio that you could be on. Oh man, are there any flights? Seriously, Ottawa to where does this take you out of? Miami? Miami. Flights are dirt cheap too. Now what's interesting, guys, on this is like these cruises are appealing, right? You could fly this. The flights are relatively cheap. The cruises are relatively cheap. My issue is this: despite all of this, instead, my wife wants a camping trailer and she wants to go on a road trip this summer. That's what she wants to do. So that's what we're doing is I'm gonna buy a trailer instead, right? Nice, Nunu. Nice. Digging it, man. Digging it.
We've done it several times. We've actually driven across the states and Canada one, two, three, four times. Typically anywhere from 7 to 9 day trips with the family. We do it in van. We have a great time with it. We stay with different families all across the country. We have a blast. We have an absolute blast doing it. And my kids actually get to see. I mean, most Americans haven't seen as much of America as we have. Um, they just haven't. Yeah, we get to meet all kinds of people and we get to say all kinds of things. So when we're in Canada and or when I travel around the world and people are like, "Oh, Americans." There's a big difference between Americans in downtown LA and Americans in Ohio and Americans in Montana and Americans in Wyoming and Texas. It's so different. Same thing with Canada, right? There's a huge difference between a Canadian from Montreal and a Canadian from Victoria. It's an entirely different thing. And so when people use those generalizations, some of it's true. There are some generalizations that are true. Um, but you have to take them with a grain of salt for sure. But yeah, the cruise ships are not going to succeed on this, guys. You can't be giving away 3 day cruises for $139 a person. Does this actually include? Look at this. They're even going to give you financing on this stuff. You got to be kidding me. You get financing on the cruises. So even if you couldn't afford this super low price, they're going to give you zero down, 0% interest on for 6 months on your cruise. $100 down. That's all you got to do is $100 down. That's nutty. It's just nutty. And I mean, this is directly on Carnival, right? You can go to last minute cruises. Look at this one. Look at this. 18-day cruise in Alaska, $599. 33 bucks a day. This is cheaper than an Airbnb. 7 night Alaska cruise with unlimited beverages, free food, free specialty dining. You get a suite and haven free at sea. That's nuts. Alaska in the summer would be beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Specialty dining. I bet you this ship has more than just salmon. Amenities. Where are the restaurants? Dining. Azura Main, Chin Chin Asian, Bistro French, Sushi Bar, Great Outdoors, Blue Lagoon, Italian Kitchen, Tango's Tapas, Steakhouse. I'd be there every night, every morning, every breakfast, every meal. steak. Yeah, like this. What would you like to do while you're on your 18-day cruise? Would you like to go to the art gallery? Perhaps you would like to go on the. Well, you wouldn't want to go on a shore excursion, that's for sure. Um, Whole bunch of bars. There's kids programs on here for families. Got a chapel. That's important for me. 6 hot tubs, basketball, volleyball, tennis court, card room, casino, on boat pool, video arcade, aqua jets, fitness center, deck games, saunas, sports courts, movie theater. Like, come on. For 33 bucks a night. If you are a single person living in Vancouver right now and you're going, I can't really make rent this month. I'm not sure if I can afford it. Just go on a cruise. just hop on a ship for 18 days, right? You're a single person living in BC. Pop on a cruise for 18 days. What are you going to do after that? Who knows? Maybe just get back on the boat and go again. Sponsored stream. I should be sponsored. I'll reach out to Norwegian and say, listen, you give me free cruise tickets and I'll plug you on stream. How about that? But I don't need to. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. 33 bucks a night. And people are telling me, oh, it's time to get back in. Let's get back in on Norwegian Cruise Lines. Their stock is looking fantastic. And it's like, wait, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Now, is it going to go back down to $10? Who knows? I don't think it's going to go back down to the $7 mark for sure, but $10, maybe. That's my spiel on. So we did Nikola today. We did cruise lines today. Any other shots fired? You want me to do the casino sector next? So Caesars at $12. This is the last 5 years. Their all-time high on the last 5 years was $14.50. It's at $12. $12. These casinos have not been operating for 2 quarters and headed into Q4 with additional lockdowns. Expect them to be operating at diminished capacity or closed again. Caesars will not be this booming beast that it is. That over the last 5 years, we are approaching all-time highs on this stock is insanity. Absolute insanity. Now, for it to be down around this range, so here's where they were, 2016, 2015. Okay, this is a reasonable level, sub 10. But that we're already heading up into the 14s and 15s. Too damn soon. It's too soon. Uh-oh, Russia's trending. Interesting. Bolton is making the assertion that in 2016 it was Russia, in 2020 it's going to be China that controls the election. Mortgage applications. MFA is not going to hurt. So how do cruises succeed? They don't. Right now they're just trying to make an income instead of no income because in order to keep their fleet afloat, that's fun to say, to keep their fleet afloat, they have to sell some tickets. The cruise lines are just looking to survive. They're not looking to be profitable. Sorry, Tiffany, that I missed that one. The EU is so dependent on liquidity. What's up, Martini? Martini in the chat, everybody. If you guys don't know Martini, I highly recommend you go hang out with her. Martini is a stock option streamer. She does a lot of what I do at the end of the day. Smart lady. There's very few people that I would say that I listen to for maybe not advice, but their opinion. And Martini's definitely one of them. So love breaking stuff down with Martini, figuring out what's going on. If you're not following her channel, do that. Did I do that wrong? Did I spell it wrong? Why didn't it do the shout out at Martini Rita? It's supposed to throw her channel in there. Anyway, follow her. Watch her. She does great things. Things and stuff. All right, last half hour here, guys. Ooh, yikes. Yikes. Down 67%. 67%. Holy cow, they lied about $2 billion. Yikes! Something that you don't want to hear, guys, on a company that you're investing in as a potential fintech disruptor is that they are reporting fake revenues in the amount of around $2 billion. Unreal. JD.com has joined the Hong Kong market. It's in the Hang Seng now. It spikes. No surprise there. It's a digital payment service. It would be akin to Square or PayPal coming out and saying that they lied about $2 billion in revenues. So, guys, for those of you that don't know, Hertz was looking to put a a $500 million stock sale into the market. Originally, it was $1 billion. They took it down from $1 billion to $500 million. But the SEC said, I don't think you should do that. And they were going to push ahead with it anyway. And then the SEC halted them. Now they're rethinking it. Apparently, when you get halted by the SEC because you're not freaking listening and you're already in bankruptcy, Yeah, Wirecard buying the dip opportunity. We got a policy, and this is one that a lot of traders I know have, that if a company commits fraud, you never go near it again. If they choose to commit fraud, you never know that the numbers that they're putting out are accurate, and if they get caught, you get caught, and all goes poorly. Um, Still waiting on these at 7:30, guys. Um, so we're about an hour out from this. And this is going to be a big deal today. This is going to be a big deal. All right, man. Catch you later, Levi. Huge shout out, guys, for everybody that's following and subbing and all that good stuff. You guys are amazing. I appreciate that. I really do. I'd be on here doing this anyway, so it's just nice to have you guys to hang out with. All right, we got 20 minutes here. I am going to fill my water. I will be right back. 60 seconds. See you then. So one of the big issues, guys, that we've had with unemployment is in many states it was more profitable for people to stay on unemployment than go back to work. Um, Trump. This is a good idea for Trump to actually make it. Um, for Trump to offer the bonus for people to go back to work instead of the people that stay unemployed. Roughly 40% of workers stand to make more money while unemployed than from their former jobs. Yikes! All right. So what this is showing here, guys, is state by state breakdowns of what the unemployment benefits look like, and what you would make compared to your average salary before you were laid off. So in Maine, you make upwards of 130%. New Mexico, Idaho. So this line here is 100%, guys. All of these states, you make the same as or more than. The only states where that's not the case are Colorado, Hawaii, Washington, West Virginia, California, Massachusetts, Alaska, Illinois, New York, DC, and New Hampshire. And this is, I mean, California and New York is by sheer population. Illinois is because they already had so many people on unemployment. Alaska, because they don't really need it. Things kind of just stayed the same up there. DC is so freaking small, it doesn't matter. But I mean, this is the majority of the states, guys. This is like 40 of the 50 states. You earn more by being unemployed. And then look at the industries that it affects: leisure and hospitality, hotels, casinos, cruises, airlines. Retail, it's down here. Education and health services are actually going to be fine, though, because they continue to operate through remote. Professional and business services will always be fine because they will always find a way to make money. Retail's hurting unless you are in e-commerce only. Do more people live in those bottom states though? I would say by population size. Let's see. Population of states.
Okay. So California, Texas, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois are the top. So California, New York, and Illinois are all on that list. But Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, Jersey, Virginia are not. So I would say out of these, where you have Texas, Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, just the top 10, right? Like after the top 10, these get relatively small and aren't going to affect the numbers. But just the top 10, California, New York, Illinois, California, New York, Illinois, Massachusetts. Is Massachusetts there? No. Okay. So California, New York, Illinois are the ones that aren't paying out more. But Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan. So 7 of the top 10 states by population, you get paid more to stay unemployed. So we added up. So 39.5 million plus 19.45 plus 12.6. So 71.6 million people. And then if we go, that's aren't making as much as they would have if they were at a job. Now, if you go to Texas, 28.99 plus are the ones that do get paid more, 21.47 plus 12.8 plus 11.68 plus 10.6, 10.4 plus 9. So it's 105 million to 71. So about 30 million more people. And that's just in the top 10 states. It's not out of the 50, right? 40 of the 50 states are receiving more income than less to stay unemployed. Makes it a really difficult argument to get people back to work. So when I type in paid more to be unemployed, and the news that I see from yesterday is Trump administration wants to replace the unemployment benefit, the back to work bonus. I love this idea. I absolutely love this idea. This is a great idea. Absolutely fantastic idea. 600 bucks a week, you get a bonus if you find a job, not 600 bucks a week to sit there and not get a job. This is a big thing to watch as far as the retail sector. People are claiming, well, retail had one of the best months of all time. It was huge. It was fantastic. Yeah, everybody got their checks. Everybody got their checks and decided they were going to spend. If you take that money away, if you take that government stimulus away and you say, okay, well, now you got to fend for yourself, and they've spent all their money on crap, expect default rates to go up on credit cards, expect loans and debts to go up, default rates to go back up, expect people not to be able to pay their rent, their mortgage, their utilities bills, expect a whole wide shit show of arguments around why and how this happened. The reality is, if we're going into this and saying you better find a damn job, and people know that a month in advance, if you know a month from now that you're going to get another check in your hand if you go find a job, people are going to go out there and find any job they can possibly take. Ooh, Fed dashboard updates today. Is it updated yet? It's not. Hmm. This is something that I like to watch, guys. It is released weekly. The Soma Holdings update. What this is a breakdown of domestic holdings by the Fed. This is in the thousands. So when you're reading this, this is not billion. This is trillion. So they have $3 trillion in U.S. Treasury notes and bonds currently holding. 261 billion in inflation-protected securities tips, and 1.8 trillion in mortgage-backed securities. This number grows significantly day by day by day. Yesterday there wasn't a huge pump, but Monday, Tuesday, we saw $40 billion flow into mortgage-backed securities. We know that this number is already going to be over $6 trillion in holdings, which is kind of a huge deal. $6 trillion in holdings by the Fed. It should at the very least make you pause and go, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? What is the deal? MFA is already doing that. MFA already exited several of their positions, a lot of property, in order to reduce overhead and increase the amount of holdings that it had that were mortgage-backed securities. So they're already doing this. MFA is already doing this. I don't know. I just feel like these things get vandalized before long. Ooh, Rhine versus, is that supposed to be Regen? I think that's supposed to be Regen versus J&J. Um, it depends on what you want to do. If you're looking at growth, J&J, in my opinion. If you're looking at just a place to park your money, Regen. Regen's not going to see massive growth. It's going to be a stable place to put your money while the dollar figures out what it's doing. J&J has potential for growth. Yeah, so there was news that came out this morning on MBRX, guys. I was not thrilled with the 8K where they voted yesterday for the directors to have the ability to reverse split and to release common shares into the market. I think I will exit my position, and that makes me a little bit upset because, um, yeah, I'm not going through a reverse split. I'm not doing that. So I will probably exit my position today. I can't say for certain. I would never tell you guys for certain what I do with entries and exits. But that news is most unwelcome. The reverse split on its own is not that bad. It's that they're pairing it with the ability for them to put another 6 million shares in the market. So if you reverse split and you take the current amount of float that they've got, which is about 42 million, and you do a 1-for-8 reverse split, well, now there's only 7 million, right? And you only have 7 million shares out, and then you put another 6 million into the market. What you've done is you've taken it down. You're flooding stocks into the market when you're doubling the amount of stock that's currently available. And if people don't buy that up, the stock could just collapse on itself. So, I mean, it's tough. It's really, really tough. REGN popped up on Buffett's scanner. So when you get a reverse split, there's going to be fewer stocks, so the price is going to artificially rise. And then if you flood the market with 6 million shares and they don't get bought up, it's going to decrease again. And so what you've done is you've gone from owning, so MBRX, let's say I own 1,000 shares. Now I own 185 shares when they do their 1-for-8 split, and then you flood the market. Those 185 shares, the value of them all of a sudden decreases with it. It's a lethal combo, and it's not something I'm overly excited about. Well, I do like what they're doing with COVID. I do like what they're doing with pediatric brain cancer. I am concerned that that they're asking for the ability to do this is a warning sign that this is coming up. They didn't get the pump that they wanted out of COVID, like the rest of the COVID companies did. I have a genuine concern on this stock, so I think I will probably look to exit, if not today, very shortly. Yes, after their stock price has done what it's going to do, after they do their reverse split and after they do their offering, then that might be a good point of entry once it's declined back down again. But until then, it's playing with fire, and I play with fire too often. I've had too many wins. I'd rather take a small loss on MBRX of a couple $100 than a huge loss. Um, Horizon Pharma. Okay, so they're a repackager. Phase 3, 4, Tepeza, HZN, Tepeza, rheumatic diseases. It's got a couple out there. Approved. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here that's really turning my crank. Sclerosis, eye. Yeah, there's nothing here that's really rocking my boat. I don't see anything in the pipeline that would have me really blown away by it. Oncology is big money. Diabetes is big money. When you don't have either of those in there, I don't know. It's just not for me, I don't think. All right, we're getting a ping here. News is coming in. All right, guys, it is 7 o'clock. I'm done for today. Thank you so much to everybody who watched. I'm back tomorrow, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're not already following, subscribing, whatever it is, wherever you're watching, do that.
You'll get notified when I go live again next time. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you have a blast today. Stay safe out there in the market. And if you missed the start of this, I will be putting a rerun out shortly. So stay tuned. Stick around for that. Later, guys.